My name is Greg Brown, and I'm with the Illinois Department of Commerce, Office of Employment and Training. Welcome to this presentation, which has been created for the impacted workers of Syncreon in Edwardsville. This presentation is designed to assist you in assessing relevant information and important resources and links to available services. We are aware that a number of you may have already signed up for unemployment insurance and are perhaps also aware of some of the other information that will be presented today. We ask that you continue to participate because there will be updated information along the way. As you can see on the screen, the four agencies listed on the agenda are combining today to bring you information on benefits that you are eligible to apply for as a dislocated worker. They will be presenting important information in the order you see on the agenda. At the conclusion of each speaker's presentation, we will be accepting questions from you that we will address. So please hold on to your questions until the proper time. These benefits are available to you and have already been paid for with your own tax dollars. There is one benefit, however, that your former employer has paid for, and this is your unemployment insurance benefit. You will receive more information regarding this benefit a little later in this presentation. Let me share a little bit about the law that governs workforce benefits. It's called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or WIOA for short. It is called an act because it's an act of Congress, simply meaning it's a federal law. WIOA provides services for adults, youth, dislocated workers, and spouses of dislocated workers. So what is a dislocated worker? A dislocated worker is an employee who will be laid off or has already been laid off from their employment through no fault of their own. Once you reach your official separation dates from your company, which will be your last official day of work, you will become a dislocated worker. Eligibility for services will then be determined by the expert folks that are going to be speaking with you in just a few moments. It is important to know that you have a window of eligibility starting with your separation date and extending to the hiring date of your next job. During this time, you can utilize WIOA services, which may include training, for example. Training means the opportunity to return to school at no cost to yourself in order to learn a new skill and obtain credentials to assist you in finding new employment in order to meet your personal and financial needs. Other options such as work-based learning opportunities are also available. The next presenter will talk more about work-based learning options, and together we will work toward a plan that supports your personal and reemployment goals. So there's a common theme here today, and it is that you are not alone in facing this reemployment challenge. We encourage you to connect with us right away in order to learn more about the services and how to access your benefits. We are here to support you, but you have to take the first step, make the first call, and you will be on your way to discovering all the benefits awaiting you as a dislocated worker. You will want to write down the link at the bottom of this screen that will lead you directly to the Illinois workNet page that's been specifically designed for the impacted workers of Syncreon and Edwardsville. This link provides a number of resources to help you on your journey to reemployment. Thank you for your time today, and on behalf of the Illinois Department of Commerce, we extend to each of you our very best as you continue on your journey to reemployment. The next presenter, Madison County Employment and Training, will provide information on how to access dislocated worker services and benefits. And now here's Tony Stevens of Madison County Employment Training in Wood River. Tony?
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. Hi, my name is Tony Stevens, and I'm with Madison County Employment and Training Department. Our office is located at 101 East Edwardsville Road in Wood River, Illinois. We serve Madison, Bond, Jersey, and Calhoun counties. At this time, our services are provided by remote access via telephone, email, or by appointment only. Walk-in services are not available at this time. You can contact us at the number listed on the slide, which is area code 618-296-4301 for services. Our goal is to provide to individuals by assisting them in finding, obtaining, and maintaining employment or vocational and educational-based training that leads to gainful employment. Some of the services that we offer um, is services that you can receive from our local office: occupational training, tuition assistance, career development services, job search assistance, local job listings, resume development assistance, community resource directories, virtual web workshop for job seekers, which is coming soon, virtual education orientation workshops, also coming soon. Computer, fax, printer services are available in our office currently right now by appointment only. Referrals to our partner agencies for services and support. Here's a listing of some of our partners: Division of Rehabilitation Services, Lewis and Clark Community College, Southwestern Illinois College, which is SWIC, Illinois Department of Employment Security, Caritas Family Solutions, Trio Educational Opportunity Centers, Land of Lincoln Legal Services, Regions Bank. Our WIOA training services eligibility. For dislocated workers, eligibility to receive or eligible to receive unemployment benefits, or currently receiving unemployment benefits, or recently exhausted unemployment benefits, displaced homemakers, or spouses of members of the armed forces who lost employment or became underemployed due to relocation. We also service trade impacted workers through petitions certified by Department of Labor. For our low income adults unemployed or underemployed, meeting income guidelines based on family size, receiving benefits such as SSI, TANF, or SNAP benefits. Our training programs. The length of our training programs include training programs that can vary in length and duration. Some approved training programs are 6 months or less for those who are interested in short-term training programs. Some training programs range from 10 to 15 months for certifications or certificates, or up to 24 months for degree level training. Our common fields of training includes healthcare occupations, vocational, industrial, computer information technology, vocational trades, manufacturing, transportation, and logistics. The WIOA approved training list includes many that you see on this slide here, but some of the more common ones are CDL truck driving training, CompTIA certification training, aviation maintenance, electrical technology, nursing, which includes registered nursing, licensed practical nursing, and certified nursing assistants, industrial maintenance and mechanics, water quality control operations, precision machining technology, process operations technology, computer information systems. That's just to name a few. Are there any questions at this time? If you have any additional questions that you may have after this meeting, you can contact us, Madison County Employment and Training Department. Again, our address is 101 East Edwardsville Road, Wood River, Illinois. Our direct phone number is area code 618 296 4301. Next up is Christiane. She is a benefit advisor with the Employee Benefit Security Administration. Thank you.
Right, thank you. I'm gonna put up my presentation. Let's see, share. All right, hi everyone. My name's Christiana. I'm with the U.S. Department of Labor Employee Benefit Security Administration, also known as EBSA. We oversee the laws that regulate employee benefit plans, such as your retirement and your group health plans. Today, I'm going to talk about how job loss can affect these benefits and different time frames that you should be aware of to protect some of your benefits. First, I'm going to talk about health insurance options. Generally, there's 4 categories of health insurance options that you have. And then after that, I'll talk a little bit about important retirement benefit information. All right, so first off, under HIPAA, you have special enrollment rights. These special enrollment rights require a group health plan to allow an employee, a spouse, or a dependent to enroll for coverage upon loss of other group health coverage. So what that means is if you as the employee lose coverage through your job because of job loss, this now gives you a special enrollment right to jump onto your spouse's group health plan, or if you're under age 26, to jump on to a parent's group health plan. Typically, open enrollment is once a year, sometimes at the end of the year, sometimes in the middle of the year. And normally you would have to wait until open enrollment to get onto a group health plan that you're eligible for. But because you lose coverage through job loss, this opens up a special period. This special enrollment period is 30 days from the date that you lose coverage. Within this 30-day period, you have to request special enrollment from the other group health plan that you're trying to jump on. So if you're wanting to jump onto a spouse's group health plan, you would have to contact them within 30 days of you losing your coverage. If you choose to go this route, your coverage sometimes will become effective immediately, and sometimes it will not be effective until the first of the following month of when you apply for to be on the group health plan through the special enrollment right. Your second option to continue health coverage is COBRA. COBRA is a set of laws that requires some employers to offer you the right to stay on their group health plan even though you're no longer an active employee or are no longer eligible to stay on the group health plan. While on COBRA, it's continuous. It would start up or it would be activated and start up the date that you lose coverage. It includes your dental and vision plans and generally excludes your disability and life insurance plans. COBRA is retroactive, so even if you don't pay or apply for COBRA until after your coverage initially ends, it goes all the way back to when your coverage first ended. It lets you stay on the plan that you were initially on prior to your loss of coverage. If your deductible and out-of-pocket maximums are partly met or fully met, they'll stay partly or fully met until the next deductible year. COBRA rights applies to plans in both the private and the public sectors, and usually covers employers that have 20 or more full-time employees. COBRA is usually on a month-to-month basis, and it's available generally for up to 18 months. In some circumstances, it may be longer than 18 months, but generally it's for an 18-month duration. While on COBRA, the employer can charge you up to 102% of the full cost of the monthly premium. So typically, as an active employee, you're paying a share of the premiums and your employer pays the other share. While on COBRA, the employer can push the full cost of the share of the premium to you, and but up to 102%. So that 2% is for administrative fees, and that the employer doesn't have to pay for that 2% and can push the full cost onto you. Your COBRA packet can be given to you on your last day or while you're at work, but under federal regulations, the employer has up to 44 days to send you your COBRA notice along with your COBRA election paperwork and other important information. From the date that you get your COBRA notice in the mail, you have 60 days to elect COBRA and then 45 days to make your initial payment. With those long time frames, it kind of gives you a lot of wiggle room. If you're not sure if you want COBRA, you have 60 days to decide if you want it. If you're still not sure and the 60 days is coming up, you can go ahead and elect, because electing does not lock you in to paying. So if around day 55 you're still not sure, you can go ahead and mail in your election form. And then from day 55, you have 45 days to make your initial payment. And if you're still not sure, you can still use up to that 45-day time frame to decide whether you want COBRA. But if you do decide that you need COBRA, then you would have to pay for all the months you missed in order to get current. COBRA coverage, again, is always retroactive. So let's say you decide you don't need COBRA, but then you get into a car accident. It is retroactive, so you can go ahead, apply, pay for your COBRA, and it'll cover you all the way up to that point. You might have to pay for those claims out of pocket and then reach out to your insurance carrier after COBRA has been paid to talk about reimbursement. And then the other thing too, your COBRA packet, a lot of times when you get it in the mail, it doesn't say COBRA on the front of it. It kind of looks like spam. So I would just be wary and make sure to open up all your mail during this time if you haven't received your COBRA packet yet. So last month, the Department of Labor and the IRS issued a joint notice that because of COVID, certain timeframes would be extended. So before I talked about all your timeframes that's under our usual course of business, during this period that President Trump has declared a national emergency, your timeframes are going to be told. And so what that means is normally for COBRA, you have 60 days to decide if you want COBRA. If you get your COBRA notice between March 1st through the end of whenever President Trump decides the national emergency is over, or any other such date as declared or determined by the U.S. Department of Labor, that 60-day time frame has not started for you. The same thing goes with that COBRA election period. If it occurs between March 1st through the end of whenever the national emergency is over or the Department of Labor issues a date, your 45-day time frame hasn't started. That goes with paying your COBRA premium payments, which are usually due at the first of the month. It goes with filing your claim for benefits and appeals of denial for claims, and for your special enrollment period. So your special enrollment period is normally 30 days. During this COVID period, that 30 days hasn't even started. If you think that these extended timeframes might apply in your situation, please, at the end, I'll put our contact information so you can call us so we can talk about your specific situation, just so that we can give you more specific information about what your timeframes would look like, just because everyone's situation is different. Also, additional COVID-19 protections. Group health plans must cover both diagnostic testing and certain related items and services provided during a medical visit without cost sharing, without prior authorization, or medical management. This includes urgent care visits, emergency room visits, and in-person or telehealth visits to the doctor that result in an order for or administration of a COVID-19 test, including where rendered by an out-of-network provider. So if you go in for a COVID test and it happens to be somewhere that's out of network, they can't charge you or apply it differently than an in-network provider. And this is just specific for COVID-19 related testing. All right, so moving on to your third option for continuing healthcare. You can also get onto the marketplace. Normally, marketplace open enrollment is around November and December, but if you lose coverage through your job, that opens a special enrollment right onto the marketplace. The marketplace is sort of this one-stop shopping to find and compare different private insurance options. From what I understand, you can compare different coverage, premiums, deductibles, and out-of-pocket costs before you enroll. You may be eligible for tax credit to lower your monthly premiums and out-of-pocket costs. Information can be found on the marketplace, and they also have their own call-in center where people can call and request information about the tax credit and about the different options. The special enrollment period for the marketplace is 60 days before or after the loss of job-based coverage. That's different than jumping onto a different group health plan during the first HIPAA special enrollment right that I talked about, which is only 30 days. With marketplace, it's 60 days before or after your loss of job-based coverage. The date of your coverage under the marketplace will start depending on when you select a plan. So generally, if you apply for marketplace coverage between the 1st and the 15th of the month, your marketplace coverage will start the 1st of the next month. But if you apply between the 16th through the end of the month, your coverage might skip a full month and not start until the next month. But I would call the marketplace just to double check on when your coverage would start because it can vary. And the website for the marketplace is just healthcare.gov. Okay, and then your last option for group health coverage, for healthcare coverage, is through a government program. You and your family might qualify for free or low-cost coverage from Medicaid and or the Children's Health Insurance Program. You can find out more information about CHIP or Medicaid at healthcare.gov, and you can apply for and enroll in Medicaid or CHIP at any time of the year. So you don't need a special enrollment period. You can apply any time of the year. If you qualify, your coverage would begin immediately. All right, so now I'm going to talk about important retirement information that you should be aware of. If you have a 401k or a pension plan and you and you haven't updated your information in a while, I would reach out to your plan administrator or your service provider for those retirement plans and make sure your phone number, your mailing address, your email address, that all your personal information is up to date. You should be receiving information from your retirement plan at least once a year. Sometimes it's 3 to 4 times a year, but at least once a year you should be getting something. If you're not, that could be a clue that the retirement plan does not have your information or your current contact information. You may be able to roll over or take your funds out now, but generally some plans will require that you be age 65 or they might have some other requirement. You'd have to reach out to your service provider for that retirement plan to find out. Right. So in addition to making sure that your information is up to date, if you decide to keep those funds in the retirement plan, I would also make sure that your beneficiary information is correct and up to date. Sometimes people, they designate their beneficiary as their sibling or as their spouse, and then years later you get a divorce or you have a falling out with your sibling. And then in your will, you set aside everything to your uncle. If at the time of your passing you haven't taken those funds out, the retirement plan can still provide all those benefits to your ex-spouse or to your sibling that you had a falling out with and disregard your will completely. Some people think that your will overrules the beneficiary designation. That is not in all cases. It's in very few cases that it would do that. So just make sure your beneficiary designation is up to date. I would also reach out to your service provider to find out what you can do with your benefits, if you can roll it over, or if you can keep it in their retirement plan, or if you can take a direct distribution if that's what you're interested in. All right, and then our contact information. If you have a particular question, you can call us back. Our direct line is 866-444-3272. We have about 50 to 60 benefits advisors that can take a call. We also have a web intake option. If you're not able to make a call, you can also submit a web inquiry and someone will call you back within 48 business hours. Our website also has further information and brochures about healthcare and retirement questions. And then the marketplace phone number is 1-800-318-2596. And that's the end of my presentation. Did anyone have any questions that they wanted to ask at this time? All right. Well, then to sort of wrap up our rapid response session, I'm going to let, or next to present is Jessica Jenkins with the Illinois Department of Employment Security. Thank you, everyone.
It is. All right. Like I said, I'm Jessica from the Department of Employment Security, and sorry for the technical glitch. I'm just going to talk to you about how to file your unemployment insurance claim and how to certify for benefits today. Unemployment insurance is a state-administered program which is designed to provide workers with financial assistance during periods of temporary involuntary unemployment or underemployment. One of the requirements for receiving unemployment benefits is being monetarily eligible. And what that means is that you have to have earned enough wages for the period in review to receive unemployment benefits. We're usually looking at that last 18-month period. And that's what we use to calculate your weekly benefit amount. If you want to go to the next one, it'll show you that we do have a minimum weekly benefit amount of $51 and a maximum of $484. That doesn't include dependency allowance. The dependency allowance you can receive in addition to your weekly benefit amount. If you want to go to the next screen, a dependent child under the age of 18 you can claim, or a non-working spouse. But keep in mind, it's either or, it's not both. And it doesn't matter whether you have one child or 3 children, it's the same amount. So they usually just ask that you give us the information for your youngest child. And if you have both a dependent child and a non-working spouse, they'll usually go ahead and go with the dependent child because it is a little bit more. On the next screen, it does show you that we have a minimum allowance, dependency allowance for a spouse of $15 and a maximum of $93. And for a dependent child, the minimum is $26 and the maximum is $185. Now, due to COVID, there is an emergency increase in the amount that you're going to receive, and that would be $600 per week in addition to your regular unemployment benefits. That should be effective until 7/31, the end of July, unless they extend it out. As of right now, that's due to end 7/31. You don't have to do anything extra for that. Just file for your benefits normally, and then it will apply automatically to any weeks during that time frame. Other eligibility requirements. Basically, you've got to be able, available, and actively seeking work. That's a key requirement for unemployment. So you have to be physically able to get up and go to work. You have to be available. If you're in Cancun for a week, you can't report to work, so you have to be available for work, and you have to be actively seeking work. Right now, they are still requiring most people to register for Illinois JobLink. When you file your unemployment claim, at the very, very end online, it will tell you if you are required to do Illinois JobLink. So if it tells you to do that, I would definitely go ahead and do that, even though things are a little bit different than than normal because of COVID and everything. I still would make sure to go ahead and register and get everything going like normal. Next, it goes over a little bit more about able, available, and actively seeking, which I kind of already talked about. And this just explains that there are some emergency rules that can maybe be allowed that wouldn't normally. Let's say you get quarantined because of COVID, and you would be otherwise eligible, you would be otherwise available for work. Then that could be something that would be allowable during this time frame. All other normal rules would apply, though. And on the next one, it tells you about Illinois JobLink. It is just an employment service tool that's used to enhance individuals' ability to obtain employment. And it is, like I said, if it tells you on that last screen that you have to register for Illinois JobLink, then it is a requirement for your unemployment. So make sure to look at that and follow the directions to get your Illinois JobLink account created. So when you file your claim, you're going to need to gather some information and have it handy. First is your Social Security number. It will also ask you for your driver's license or state ID number and some other information that comes directly from your ID. So if you're registering and it's asking questions about your photo ID, such as the weight on it, make sure to actually refer to the driver's license or state ID itself, because if it doesn't match, it can definitely cause problems getting you registered. Your employment history for the last 18 months is also required. A lot of people think we only want the last employer or the employer that's actually laying you off. We actually need all of them. So for the time frame that it's asking for, make sure to include all your employer's information. If you're claiming a dependent child, or a dependent spouse, you're also going to need their name, Social Security number, and date of birth. And then you can actually skip forward to Marcus, if you don't mind. One more. Perfect. When to file your claim. Now, I know you guys are in a group that may already be laid off, and if that's the case, I hope you already have your claim filed. If not, you want to go ahead and get that claim open immediately, because normally we want you to file the first week in which you're laid off and not receiving payments anymore. So I shouldn't say that, laid off. When you're laid off, your last day of work, after your last day of work, you can file. I don't want to say the wages, because you could still have some outstanding wages left for them to pay out. So after your last day of work, you can go ahead and file for your unemployment claim. It's going to give you an effective date of the week that you file. So that's why we want you to go ahead and file that first week so we can get your claim opened the first date that you'd be eligible. If you worked in the week in which you're filing, if your wages are greater than your weekly benefit amount, it's actually going to push your claim to the following week. They've got an example here. If you file your claim on 4/18 and your last day of work was 4/17 and you earned $500 for that week, if your benefit amount is $300, you're not unemployed for that week, and it's going to push your claim to the next week, 4/19. Okay, where to file? Right now, as in most places, our offices are closed, but even during times that it's open, you still have these same services available to you. You can file online at ides.illinois.gov. You can do that at any time. If there's some reason why you're unable to register online, and that does happen occasionally, then you'd need to call the 800 number, the 1-800-244-5631. That is a number. You can get a live person. We have a teleserve number that's an automated system. This one actually will take you to a live person. It'll have an automated system to begin with. And after you enter some responses, it'll actually take you to a live person. All right, so what happens next after you get your claim entered? The main thing you're going to be looking for after you get your claim filed is your UI finding sheet. That's going to come into the mail. It should take about a week, and it's got a lot of really important information. One is your weekly benefit amount. It's going to be what you're actually receiving. You're going to have your dependency allowance if you have one, and it's also going to have your certification date. That's a very important thing because those certifications is what triggers your payment. So definitely look on your UI finding sheet to find your certification date. And it's also going to have other information such as your maximum benefit amount. All right, your maximum benefit allowance is the total amount that you're eligible to receive. And that's the amount that it has on there is just based on your weekly benefit amount. So it's taking your weekly benefit amount times 26 weeks because that's how long you can draw regular benefits for. And that gives you your maximum benefit amount or maximum benefit allowance. It doesn't include dependency allowance or the emergency $600, anything like that. It's just simply like on the example, the $350 times 26 weeks, which gives you the $9,100. All right, certifications. Like I said, certifications is what is going to trigger your payments. So it's very important to do those and try to do those timely. If you get too far out, let's say you're 4 weeks out and you're supposed to certify every 2 weeks. So if let's say you get past 4 weeks out, it's not going to let you certify. At that point, you would have to contact a representative to get you caught up in order to be able to certify again. So it's very important to keep track of your certifications and make sure to do them timely. You're basically just going to answer a list of questions to determine if you're eligible for the weeks in question. Your UI finding sheet will assign you a day, either a Monday, Tuesday, or a Wednesday, and that, like I said, you certify on that day every 2 weeks. If you ever miss your normal assigned day, then the Thursday and Friday are makeup days, so you can always do those days to make it up as long as you're not out too far. Let's see. If you miss your regular certification day, like I said, you can always do the Thursday or Friday. That shouldn't be any problem. So of course, it's going to delay your payment some. And we do have two different payment options for you. You want to go to the next screen. The first one is a debit card. We will automatically issue you a debit card. Perfect. It'll be sent out regardless of if you enroll in direct deposit. So let's say you register and then you immediately go and set up direct deposit, you're still going to get that card. I would just put it in your lockbox or something like that. Just keep it handy to make sure all your payments are going through onto your direct deposit. For direct deposit, it doesn't automatically prompt you to do that during the claim process. So just know if that's what you want, when you get done with your claim, just go back under individual, unemployment insurance, and payment options, and you can click the link to enroll in direct deposit. And I highly suggest everybody do that if you have the ability to. It seems to have a lot less issues come up if you enroll in direct deposit. Next is benefit payment. Once you've certified for benefits, they're gonna determine if you're eligible for the weeks in questions. As long as you don't have any reason why it's not gonna pay you. Let's say you were available and you weren't working and you answered all the questions right, then that will trigger your payment. That payment will be there in 2 to 3 business days for you. Yeah, they'll be automatically sent to your debit card or the direct deposit, whichever you've set up. And this last little bullet point on here, I want to clarify a little bit. It does say that it's going to waive your waiting week. And that is true for a majority of people. Anybody who has a claim that has a benefit year beginning date of 3/9 or later, they are waiving the waiting week because of COVID. If you happen to have filed before that date and never served your waiting week, then you probably will have another waiting week or a waiting week to serve because your benefit year began before 3/9. I know that's a little confusing, but I just wanted to clarify. Most people will have that waiting week waived, but there may be the occasional person who falls into that other category. Unemployment insurance payments are subject to state and federal income tax. During the claim process, you can elect to have taxes withheld, or you can choose to not have them withheld, but it is taxable, so keep that in mind. You can change that at any time by calling the 800 number, and they can help you change your tax election, but it won't go back and do any weeks that you already were paid for. It's just going to change it moving forward. Then we have a couple frequently asked questions for you. The first is, can I work and receive benefits? And the answer to that is yes, potentially. It depends on what your weekly benefit amount is and how much you're earning. You can work and earn earnings less than your weekly benefit amount, and you can still be eligible for at least partial. If you earn half or less of your weekly benefit amount, then they don't penalize you at all. Anything that goes over half, they take back dollar for dollar. And then once you reach your full weekly benefit amount, that would close out your claim. If you want to switch to the next screen, I think it gives us a little example. And they've got this example you can come back and refer to. I'm going to give you a completely different example. My example is just $200. I try to make it nice and easy. Let's say your weekly benefit amount is $200. If that's the case, if you're working and earning wages, and let's say you earned $98, that's less than half. That $100 is the halfway mark. 98 would be less than that. We want you to report it on your certification, but we don't penalize you at all. Now, if you go over half, let's say you earned $125, then we would subtract that $25, what you went over, from your unemployment benefits. And then once you reached your full weekly benefit amount of $200, then that would close your claim, and you'd have to reopen it for the next week that you're under. If you want to go ahead and switch to the next one, that's disqualifying income. And it says, I receive a pension. Will this affect my unemployment benefits? Yes. If 50% of the amount you receive may be deducted from your weekly benefit amount if you paid into the pension. Now, 100% will be deducted if your employer paid the full amount. Now, if you're the only one that pays into it, then they don't deduct it at all. It's only if the employer has contributed to it. Okay. If it has been more than 18 months since you worked for the employer, then the pension you are paid is not disqualifying. It has to fall within your base period. Okay, next is workers' compensation. Is workers' compensation the same as unemployment compensation? No, workers' compensation is a payment made based on Workers' Compensation Act that is paid due to temporary disability. If I receive workers' compensation, will it affect my unemployment benefits? Yes, 100%. So whatever you're receiving on workers' comp would be deducted from your weekly benefit amount. If it's greater than your weekly benefit amount, then you wouldn't be eligible for unemployment. And we've got a few important numbers and websites for you guys. First is the website that you can file your claim from, you can certify from. It has the link for Illinois Job Link. You can enroll in direct deposit. So this is a very important website for you to write down, and it's ides.illinois.gov. And then we've got teleserve. This is the one I was talking about that doesn't have a live person. It's just for certifications. And that's 1-312-338-0000. 4337. And claimant services is 1-800-244-5631. Right now, there is quite a bit of wait time on there, so you may have to try calling early in the morning, try calling late in the evening. I think they're open till 7 p.m. And right now, because of COVID, we have so many people laid off that it is taking a little bit longer to get to those calls. But if you have to get a hold of somebody, just be patient, put it on speakerphone, do whatever you have to do to get a hold of somebody. That 800-244-5631. And then we've got the fax number, and it's 217-557-4913. And just recently, they have added a way on the website, the ides.illinois.gov, to upload documents. You just go to the website, and then right on the home screen, about the 6th box down, you'll find upload document, and you literally just click on that, and you have to enter your claimant ID, and you can upload a document directly to your case file, which is fantastic. It's a nice, easy way to get your documents there, but just keep in mind it doesn't trigger a task for anybody. So nobody will know that it's there unless you get a hold of us and let us know, or if we've specifically asked for a document, then we'd know to check for it. But it's a great tool, but just know that if you send anything through that link, that you still need to get a hold of somebody to let them know that it's there to process. I know I've provided a whole lot of information in a little bit of time. Is there any questions that anybody has for IDES right now? No questions? Any questions for any of the other partner agencies? Any questions for any of us? All right. If there's no other questions, that's going to conclude our presentation. Just make sure to please reach out to any of these agencies or partners at the contact information that they provided. If you have any additional questions or need any assistance, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys out. So if we can in any way, please let us know. And thanks for attending.